Fox confirmed the shooter who police killed was a naturalized citizen from Senegal. Sources are now telling Fox the shooter was wearing clothing that said Allah on it, and he had on an undershirt with an Iranian flag on it. The FBI has just announced they are investigating this as a possible act of terrorism.
Imagine my surprise. Just imagine my surprise when I wake up yesterday morning and hear about a retaliatory attack in Austin, Texas, also known as the southern city of rainbows, a once great city that has been completely taken over by people escaping the People's Republic of California. And as they're known to do, doofus Democrats escape their own flaming ass fire. They move to a new city to start a new flaming ass fire. When I heard about this yesterday morning, I didn't need to read about it. Details weren't required. With Donald Trump dismantling the Iranian regime on Saturday morning, anyone with a functional brain over the age of 30 already knew what this was. Another, keyword, another radical Islamist throwing a temper tantrum. Another radical Islamist doing his part to increase the number of terrorist attacks from the religion of peace. All in the name of Allah. What a perfect time for the Department of Homeland Security to be defunded. Another brilliant move by doofus Democrats. For 4 years under our former fearless leader, Johnny B. Biden, the party of the donkey spread the southern border wider than the cheeks on the bruised caboose at the Butt Bongo Festival, and they allowed anyone to come into the country. Hey there, friends, it's me, Johnny B. I've got a special invitation for you. I believe the kids nowadays would describe it as groovy. We're having a party here in America. Everyone is invited to ride that donkey. Doofus Democrats hand out free invitations to a free ride on the donkey. Then, when ICE is doing their job and once again cleaning up the Democrats' mess, Democrats in their infinite wisdom defund DHS. But that's okay. I'm sure they've increased funding for social worker Shanice. If you notice suspicious activity, do not call the police, call social worker Shanice. Instead of approaching violent criminals with force, Shanice takes a softer approach. She will sit them down and work through the 5 stages of grief. Not only are we dealing with retaliatory attacks, along with the expected fake outrage from Democrats, as well as fake outrage from so-called conservative influencers, which, by the way, there seems to be a lot of confusion as to what America First means. Over the weekend, the high-pitched screaming that you heard that sounded like a cat in heat, those feminine screams, they were coming from Tucker Carlson. Attacking Iran is disgusting and evil. Human life is sacred. I'm so scared. I'm reporting from my bunker in Qatar and I keep hearing explosions. Initially, I thought it was my ass gas, but friends, this sounds like bombs. Where is the Saudi crown prince? I need protection. Let me make sure I'm understanding you correctly. Attacking the Iranian regime, which is arguably the most evil regime in the world, a regime that is responsible for killing thousands of Americans, a regime that's responsible for thousands of acts of terror, a regime that was recently taking the lives of their own citizens. According to Tucker Carlson, dismantling that regime is evil? Are we talking about the Tucker from Breaking Bad or Tucker Carlson? Hell, at this point, I don't know if there's a difference. America First does not mean that we sit back and wait to be attacked. America First does not mean that we continue to ignore a problem that we have been ignoring for decades. what Donald Trump is doing is America first. Unsurprisingly, Zohran Mamdani is not America first. Over the weekend, Zorro was mourning the loss of his fearless Iranian leader as he once again proved that he is Islam first and America last. Make sure to like and subscribe. You can follow me on Twitter at KC_BTL84. Link to the second channel's in the description below. Won't be today, but probably tomorrow on the second channel. Going to be talking about a high school basketball team in the Somalian Republic of Minnesota kneeling for the national anthem. What a shocker. A high school team in the Somalian Republic being indoctrinated to disrespect America. I'm sure Tim Walz provided complimentary tampons for their courageous act of defiance. If you haven't already, click the link in the description below, subscribe to the second channel. You know, it's one thing for the usual suspects. It's one thing for woke white women pretending to have influence. It's one thing for them to side with Iran. Women like Anna Kasparian, due to their severe symptoms of stage 4 OMB, or bad. It is impossible for them to support anything that Donald Trump does. But the message takes a completely different tone when it's coming from someone who is supposed to be a leader. And it damn sure takes a different tone when it's coming from the supposed leader of New York City. The same New York City that was the victim of the largest Islamic terrorist attack in this country. Over the weekend, Zohran Mamdani reacted to the dismantling of the Iranian regime. Now, me personally, I don't remember anyone asking for Zorro's reaction. I'm sure most New Yorkers wish Zorro would get off social media and focus on cleaning up the piles of garbage that's blocking the view on the streets on the Upper East Side. But as you guys know, Zorro's not a problem solver, he's a problem starter. Check out his reaction to Iran. My friends, I come to you today with a heavy heart. Our fearless Iranian leader was attacked during Ramadan. This act of aggression is unacceptable and Americans do not approve. I should know what Americans want because I'm Ugandan. I want all New Yorkers to know, especially Iranian New Yorkers. Zorro promises to keep you safe. How is Zohran Mamdani keeping anyone safe? Last I checked, the NYPD was short-handed. To make matters worse, more officers are talking about quitting due to the complete lack of support they are receiving from their doofus mayor. And why should Iranians believe anything Zohran Mamdani says? Correct me if I'm wrong here. I don't remember Zohran Mamdani saying a damn thing when innocent Iranians were being slaughtered by their own government for protesting against the regime. To my knowledge, Zohran Mamdani hasn't said a damn thing about what happened in Austin yesterday morning either. Last week, when police officers in New York City were physically attacked, Zohran Mamdani demanded the attackers not be charged. So someone please explain to me how Zohran Mamdani is going to protect anyone. Just so we're clear, the mayor of New York City, he's not siding with America. The mayor of New York City isn't siding with the brave men and women in our military, 4 of which have lost their lives. The mayor of New York City, he is mourning the deaths of the most evil regime in the world. And you expect me to believe that guy will keep Americans safe? If I was an Islamist, I would damn sure feel safe in this dump known as New York City, but an American? Look, unlike these so-called experts, I'm not going to sit here and tell you that I'm an expert on foreign policy. I'm not. I remember last summer, Tucker Carlson claimed that tens of thousands of American soldiers would lose their lives in that 12-day war in Iran. If I remember correctly, the total number of American lives that were lost was zero. Unlike Tucker and the litany of others who seem to be terrified to speak about radical Islam, Uncle KC is not. Now, was it the right move to dismantle the regime in Iran? Honestly, that remains to be seen. Do I want another decades-long war in the Middle East? Absolutely not. I don't want our military spending a month over there, much less multiple years. But something had to be done. For far too long, America has been tolerant. For far too long, America has been weak. And look at the end result. We have entire cities in America that have been taken over by Islamists. The mayor of the largest city in the country is an Islamist disguised as a socialist. Islam is rapidly spreading throughout Texas. Over the last few years, we have wasted time debating something as basic as gender. We have representatives in Congress who hate our country. Hell, we have an entire political party who hates America. And it's not called the Hate America Party, it's the party of the donkey. This country has drastically changed in the last 10 or so years. Why? Because no one was standing in the way to stop it. Have you ever wondered why they hate Donald Trump? When I was growing up and throughout most of my adult life, Donald Trump was revered. He was admired, respected. Rappers referenced him in songs. Hell, the late Mac Miller wrote an entire song about Donald Trump. The yentas on The View used to be mesmerized by his toxic masculinity. But as soon as he ran for president, Don Trump became public enemy number one. Everything he stood for, even things that Democrats used to support, like border control, tough crime policies, everything the Trumpers stood for, they were suddenly against. Why? Because Donald Trump is the only one standing in their way. Donald Trump is the only one standing in the way of global government. Whether it's an Islamic caliphate or the utopian globalist dreams of radical leftists, Donald Trump is the only one that is standing in the way. Sound off in the comments below. I'll see you guys tomorrow.